fifth graders. This is Mr. Kelly. I wanted to give you a heads up about music next year in sixth grade. If you're in band or orchestra this year, continue with that next year if you really enjoy it. It's a good idea to stick with it and not take a break in sixth grade and then come back in seventh grade. Stay with it in sixth grade and then go on from there. You will have a couple interviews by Mr. Foster and Mr. Slike at both middle schools. And you want to check that out and get your questions answered. That's in your Google Classroom for band and orchestra. However, if you are really into music and you don't want to be in band or strings, think about going into choir. The choir program at both middle schools is pretty awesome too. And it's a great option for you in sixth grade. If you love to sing, I would do that, definitely. We have interviewed both teachers from CMS and WMS, and they have a lot to say about why you should be in choir. And here it is for you right now.
Okay, so let's start with introducing yourselves. So Ms. Balfour, let's start with you. Will you give us your name and your school that you teach at and the subjects that you teach?
Hi, my name is Mrs. Balfour, and I teach middle school choir and middle school orchestra at Westwood Middle School.
Hi, I'm Christy Clausen, Mrs. Clausen, and I teach choir at Cheney Middle School. This year I also taught some math classes, so they fill up my schedule with something random each year. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be teaching next year except choir and something else.
Great. And now we'll do some getting to know you questions. So they had some really interesting questions for you guys. Let's start with Mrs. Balfour. Again, they want to know, do you have children?
Yes, I have one son who is 6, and I have a husband.
Excellent. And Mrs. Clausen, let's go to you. Do you have children?
I do. I have 3 kids. I have a 9-year-old who goes to Windsor Elementary, and I have a kindergartner who also goes to Windsor. And then I have a 4-year-old little boy who drives us up the wall and back down again, but because he's crazy, but we love him. And then I have a lot of animals that I call my kids. So I collect animals. I've got 2 birds, 2 cats, and 3 dogs currently.
Wow.
And they're all my babies.
I have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs too. 2 Baileys.
2 black labs, right?
Yes.
They wanted to know about the pets you have, so you answered that question. They wanted to know if there are any animals that you wish you could have, but that you don't have. And I'm assuming they're thinking like a tiger or a ostrich. I don't know. Any thoughts there?
I do not want a tiger. I do not want an ostrich. I do not want anything dangerous. I would love to have a horse. I just have no time to take care of it. Maybe a couple cute little goats.
Goats are cool.
Yeah, I've got the kind of dogs that herd. So goats and sheep would be fun, but I don't have time for that business. So.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. So let's go back to Mrs. Balfour. What is your favorite part about teaching in general?
Teaching in general, I think my favorite part about teaching is seeing kids connect to music in their own way. Meaning that, for instance, when I connect to music, it brings, it brings me a lot of joy and a feeling that you can't quite describe, but when you feel it. And so when I teach music, I don't intend for you to be the world's best singer or the world's best string player, but for you to find happiness and enjoyment while you're playing and to make that connection for yourself and to other kids and just feel that that feeling that only happens when you're making music. So that's pretty much why I love teaching, is because I love it when kids discover that.
That's a really great, inspiring answer. How about Ms. Clausen? What is your favorite part about teaching in general?
Oh, goodness. Well, I love what Ms. Balfour said, but I also I love the relationships and the fun that I get to have with my kids. I tend to be known as the strict but sarcastic teacher. So I have a lot of rules and you got to follow them. But other than that, we goof off a lot and I'm really sarcastic and we laugh a lot in my classes. And I love hanging out with middle school kids in that age group. As far as choir goes, I think it's really hard sometimes when you hit choir in middle school. It's probably the hardest part of music, even harder than strings and band, because your voice betrays you sometimes. We all know what we're talking about, right? Our voice is cracking all over the place and we're learning something new. And I think what I love is when we persevere past all that and you guys really start making music for the first time. Because sometimes the beginning of the year is a lot of hard work, but then something clicks. And it's kind of like what Miss Balfour was talking about, but it's when you suddenly realize, wow, I can do something amazing and it means something to my heart. And it means something to the people that I'm singing for. So it's just that powerful moment. It's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. And let's talk about choir class in middle school. So when is choir class? Is it during the school day?
Yes. So far, none of the courses offered at either middle school is during outside of the regular school day. So there's no 0-hour choir at this point. It's all scheduled within the day. And we don't actually know what the schedule is yet. So sometime during the day.
And it's every day, right?
It's not during breaks. It's like a regular scheduled class,
Right.
just like math or PE or art or whatever.
Yeah, and so the sixth graders, you guys are by yourself. When you're in 7th, 8th grade choir, we put you in the same choir, and then there's an opportunity to try out for an upper level choir when you're a little bit older too. But 6th grade, that first year is you guys just with your friends, learning how to sing and just having fun in the middle of your day sometime.
Great. And then they were asking about the audition. They were asking if they had to audition to be in choir. So will you, Ms. Clausen, elaborate a little bit on that? 6th grade, they don't, right?
No, so for 6th grade, we just want you to come and have fun. We will teach you everything. So I think sometimes kids don't join choir because they say, well, I don't sound good or I can't sing. But if you're interested in it, if it's fun for you, even if you sound like a frog sometimes, we hope that you'll join, because Miss Balfour and I can work magic and we can teach you how to match pitch and we can help you with all of that stuff. So that's what 6th grade choir is about. You don't have to be good enough. You just have to have a good attitude and want to try. And we will teach you how to sing. And then when you're older in 7th and 8th grade, you can try out for the upper level choirs.
Great, something to look forward to. Ms. Balfour, let's go back to you. Can they do choir and also play a sport?
Oh yeah. In fact, both Miss Claus and I have coached sports before, so we know firsthand you can play a sport and be a musician. I'm pretty sure that a good majority of our students are athletes as well as musicians, and we encourage it. I mean, I want you to do we want you to do as much as you can experience. I would emphasize though that we do consider our music classes to be core content. So if you have to choose between your choir concert and a sporting event, we would encourage you to choose your graded choir concert over that. But I mean, we do have conversations around it, so don't think that that'll hold you back in any way, shape, or form.
Awesome. Thanks for addressing that issue that we sometimes run into. Okay, let's go back to Ms. Clausen at Cheney. What music will they sing in your program and what new skills will they learn?
Ooh, okay. So in 6th grade, we start by just singing unison, which means everybody's singing the same note. And we just work on matching pitch and making sure that we all sound good and breathing right. We learn this thing called solfege, which kind of sounds like a little bit like a foreign language at first, but it's super fun. And we play lots of games. I do a lot of competitions and friendly games. You don't have to sing by yourself, so don't worry. Don't let that scare you. But I just have a lot of fun just teaching you how to sing. on pitch. And then if you guys are doing really well and you're showing strength and success in that area, then we kind of move into singing rounds where you guys are singing the same song, but you're singing it at different times. I'm sure you've done that in your music classes before. And then eventually we add some harmony and some partner songs. Usually my sixth graders sing like usually in 2 parts. Occasionally I've pulled in a third part every once in a while, but it's not hard, and we do it in little steps and we teach you slowly. So we do some fun songs. We do some pop songs, some songs that you guys will recognize, but we also do some more formal choir songs because we also go to choir competitions. It's called a festival. And then for CMS, we also go to Silverwood at the end of the year. And both of those, the judges and the people that are watching us kind of expect us to sing more of the traditional choir type stuff. So we do that, but we also have some fun with all kinds. Last year in the fall, my sixth graders did an African song. So they actually spoke in Swahili while they sung, and they got to do some dancing too with it, which was super fun.
Very cool. And will you talk about Westwood too? Is it sort of the same thing, Mrs. Balfour? And talk about concerts and field trips. Do you do festival also?
Yeah, we want to give you a wide range and variety of repertoire of songs. So there is, yes, we do a lot of traditional, we do fun pop, we do musicals. We have about 4 concerts a year, like traditional concerts, with themes throughout the year. But then also too, as Ms. Clausen said, we do field trips. So this last year, my choirs, we went caroling at downtown in Spokane at the mall. And then we ate lunch in the mall. And we do festival at SFCC every year and compete against other choirs. So you get to see other choirs like you from around from the state. And then at the end of the year, yes, we do go to Silverwood and sing there as well. And we just try to find as many opportunities for you guys to showcase your talents and perform, because I mean, that's the whole point, right, of learning the skills and finding that core choir is being able to show what you've learned and have the opportunity to share it with other people. And so, and again, one of the best things I think is the feeling right after you've performed, that feeling of accomplishment that you get when you do it and then you go, wow, we did it. We did it.
That's great. That sounds like a lot of really awesome opportunities at both middle schools for these kids. So let's sum up the last question. I'm going to combine them into 2 because we sort of already touched on this. So let's go back to Ms. Clausen. Talk about why you like teaching choir specifically, and or why you think music is important. Why should these kids be in choir?
Ooh, well, it's a trite phrase, but it means a lot. Music changes the world, literally. I think that you need to be involved in music somewhere because it balances our emotions. It helps us connect to other human beings in ways that we couldn't connect if we didn't have music. It helps us express our emotions and our feelings, whether it's something hard that we're going through or whether it's something really good and we're joyful. It's just a way of expressing ourselves and what we're learning and how we're growing as a human and how society is doing. I'm working on a project right now with some of my choir kids about reaching out to people right now about what we're going through with the pandemic. So it makes a difference in people's lives and it makes a difference in our own life. So that's probably the reason why I feel like everybody needs to be involved in music. You don't have to become a professional musician. You don't have to decide right now in middle school, I'm going to be a famous singer. No, just join choir, have fun, make a difference in your life, in the life of others, and then decide, later what you want to do with that music and what you've learned and what skills you have. As far as teaching music for myself, so I've taught a lot of different things. I graduated with a degree in music. I always intended on being a music teacher. And I started there, but very quickly I took a little side road and I ended up teaching some math and some science, even taught high school math for a while. And then I came back to choir. And I just cannot tell you how much fun it is. It's way more fun than teaching the other subjects, to be honest, because of that emotional connection and because it makes more of a difference than what I'm just learning in my brain. And the way that I can change and affect other people is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it's totally about something bigger than just you, which is
Yes,
amazing.
absolutely.
Ms. Balfour, anything to add about that? Why do you think these kids should be involved in choir?
Well, of course, everything that Miss Clausen just said, I totally wholeheartedly agree with. There's just something about the emotional connection, the human connection that you can't deny, and once you have it, it's something that sticks with you. But I would also remind you too that music is scientifically proven. Singing specifically is scientifically proven to help you cognitively in your brain learn other subjects. So it's not only a feel-good thing, but it's a tool for other subject areas. It will help you. It will help you in other ways. So like I said, there's no downside to choir. No downside.
I've never known anyone that regretted being in music. So, well, thank you both so much for speaking with me. Hopefully this helps some of the fifth graders make some decisions for next year. I know they will learn so much and be really excited in either program at either middle school. So thank you both.
Can I add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I add something?
Yes.
One thing that I know that you guys, that fifth grade especially feels, because you're about to move up into a place in a school that you are unfamiliar with, and a new situation, is you want to cling to what you already know. And so you'll probably hear a lot of, oh, you should do this because I'm doing it, right? That peer pressure from your friends, or your friends wanting you to do what they want to do. But I would encourage you to make your own choice based on what you want. Because I promise you, if you do not choose something that you truly want to do, you won't be happy. So especially like if you're in strings or band right now and you're on the fence about whether or not you should do choir or strings, or choir or band, or choir or art, make that choice that really suits you, the one that you really want to do, not what your friend wants to do, but what you want to do. And I promise you, it'll be better for you. Don't make them happy, make you happy.
And they'll make friends in any of the ensembles
Yes.
that they're in. Yeah.
Choir is definitely, it's a family. Music is a family, and I know that some of the other classes I hear the same thing, band, orchestra. So join the family that you want to be a part of, and those are going to be your friends, and those are going to be the people that get you through stuff. So
yeah, and if your friends are in other subjects, you can go to each other's concerts and it'll be fun. Well, thank you both so much. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem. I can't wait to see you guys next year.
Yes, come join us.